I'm Glenn from Kedron Caravans in Brisbane. Well, after opening our new manufacturing and service division at Brendale, we're back on the road again. This year we've got a new ATV van in tow and we're heading through central Queensland, from central Queensland up to Mount Isa. Mount Isa is where we cross into the Northern Territory to the Three Ways. From the Three Ways we head north up to Shady Camp in the Mary River system around Kakadu. From there we trek back down southwest to the Darley River system. Darley River we go across to Kununurra. From Kununurra is where the true test for the ATV will start. We head onto the Gib River Road. From the Gib River Road, along there we go into the Amma Gorge and down further to El Questro. From El Questro we trek further along the Gib River and we head up towards the Mitchell Falls. After the Mitchell Falls we trek back down across to Derby and Broome. From Broome we head north up to Cape Leveque. Cape Leveque we head back down across to Halls Creek. Halls Creek we go onto the Tanami Road, across the Tanami Desert to Alice Springs, which we trek up north and then head straight across the Plenty Highway, and then it's a bitumen run home. And with only 3 weeks to do it, it's sure going to put the vehicle and the van to the test, so we'll see how it goes.
The first port of call on the Kimberley trip was Longreach. Here they decided to visit the infamous Hall of Fame. After camping at the Thompson River, which is just outside Longreach, the boys made an early start to the day. Just on sunrise they headed off to Mount Isa. Use extreme caution when overtaking the big rigs that frequent these highways. Sit back and give them plenty of room and make sure you have more than a safe distance ahead to overtake. After passing through Mount Isa and Camberwell, they crossed the Queensland Northern Territory border and headed towards the Three Ways. This is the junction of the two main highways. They camped for the night and headed off again in the morning, turning right at the Three Ways heading north. They pulled into Mataranka for a stop, a major tourist area and popular camping ground with all the camping facilities. There is also a pub with cold beer, food and an outdoor eating area. Just a short walk down to the hot thermal springs with natural artesian water. This is a refreshing welcome after a long day's driving. Camping next to the Mary River, just before entering Kakadu National Park, the guys enjoyed their camp oven cooking, which they used most nights.
Well, the boys had a good camp here last night. We're just opposite the Mary River Roadhouse here. Today we're heading to one of the most scenic spots, and most well recognised for that matter, of the Northern Territory, which is Kakadu National Park. And we're heading for a little reach of the Mary River called Shady Camp to try our luck with the barramundi.
This particular van boasts an instant hot and cold shower, and here Glenn refreshes himself before continuing his journey. Here they're heading into the main entrance of Kakadu National Park. Take note that there is a fee charged on entering the park. They detoured past Jabiru and went straight across to Shady Camp via the old Jim Jim Road. The Caravan has handled the trip so far without any problems, but the roughest roads are still yet to come. Back on the Arnhem Highway, they headed for Shady Camp, the barramundi hotspot they have all been excited about reaching. They arrived at Shady Camp Camping Reserve. Not a lot here, no running water or power, but there is a toilet block, and yes, certainly plenty of crocodiles around, as the boys are about to find out.
Alright, now that we're here at Shady Camp, before we go out chasing any barra, there's a few rules that they have in place around here to protect the amount of numbers that they have in stock. The first rule, like in the Mary River system, which is basically where we are at Shady Camp, the whole reach of it, you're only allowed to have two barramundi in your possession at one time. So even if you have one in the freezer, you can only catch one more, and that's the rules as they say. Also, there's another rule here that covers around the weir, like where the fresh water comes into the salt, and that rule states that you're only allowed to use single barb or single hook lures. So lures such as like this rubber style of lure here with just one single lure, or fly fishing style, and not the actual type of lures with the treble hooks, or so they're banned, and so is live bait fishing or bait fishing around the weir. It's strictly one hook lures. There's also a closed season, as it states here, between the 10th of October and the 31st of January. That's generally the wet season up here, and it's the actual breeding time for the barramundi and when they're at their most active, so they protect them around that time as well.
So we'll give these single hook lures a go and see if we can catch one.
Heading out for a day's fishing, looking for the big barra. There is plenty of water in the river at high tide, but when the tides change, the river runs almost dry within a matter of hours, something the boys were certainly not aware of at the time.
Nice barra, mate. The size of this beauty. Look at him. Oh, marble. That'll cook up nice and that. Marble. How's that one? Hey!
Hey! Oh, beauty!
What we come to see?
That's the third one.
That's the third one. That's three since you guys been gone. Nice fish. Oh, yeah. That's a shot. He's all a bit excited.
He's rocked down here.
Don't get excited, Baz. Look at that. Hey? Oh, she'll be that nice. Oh, that's a nice fish.
That's a shady camp for you, mate.
Right.
Ronnie, Barry and Edgar were pretty happy with their catch. You must be very aware of the tides up in the northern tributary rivers. It's very easy to get caught up in fishing and lose track of time. Peter, Glenn and John started to get a bit worried. As the river was getting lower and lower, they started to hurry back. Here they actually ran over a croc and realised they were in a bit of trouble. There was an urgency to get back to camp, but soon they realised that they were going to be stranded.
That was a croc. Did you see the croc? Did you see the croc come up? You hit him fair on the skull. Mate, there's another one right in front. My God, we are stuck here. Here, don't go any further. There's one right here. There's one right here, Peter. Back up. My God.
Right. You're right. There he goes there, look. He's gone. You're right. Just go now. Go now.
There's just no water left in this channel at all. I wasn't too worried before, but I think I am now.
The other crew were also stranded further upriver.
No, I gotta sit up and wear her out now. You won't be able to go to sleep.
Until the tide comes in. What's the time? 8 o'clock.
This is probably the eeriest part, knowing they were stuck with crocodiles all around them and no torch or lighting to see where they were. All they could do is sit and pray and wait for the tide to change.
We've just got some good news that the water's started running back in. Is it coming in, Jebby?
A few hours had passed and the tide started to run back in. They were able to get back to the boat ramp safely with a great sigh of relief. When they dragged the tinnies up the boat ramp and shone the light in the water, they realised what extreme danger they were in. They were certainly glad to get out of there.
Yesterday we had a big run down to the saltwater side. A lot of big crocs and a couple of barra. Today we're getting up. We're going to go for a run up and check all the lilies out and the birds and also wildlife up this side. A few big crocs again, I suppose. They're big lizards, aren't they?
After leaving Shady Camp, they headed towards Darwin and then down to the Daly River, where they met Fidelis, whom they had met on a previous trip. He told them many tales of the area and of his adventures with the crocodiles. Glenn likes his fishing, so he thought he would give it a try before heading off for another long day's drive. Leaving the Daly River behind them, they headed towards Kununurra, stopping on occasions to take in the natural beauty of this country. After crossing the Western Australian border, they stopped at the inspection station where all their goods were checked. Here you must surrender all fruit, veggies and honey. These items cannot be taken into Western Australia. Something to take note of when travelling in this area.
Have you been on a banana plantation in Northern Territory?
Heading towards sunset, they decided to set up camp about 20 kilometres from Kununurra.
Today we're heading to Kununurra. From Kununurra we start heading towards the River Road, go across the Pentecost River, through up to the Mitchell Plateau. So the Gibb River Road's pretty renowned for being very corrugated.
taken on the old suspension and that of the vehicle, so we'll just have to take it easy and travel across nice and slow.
Always having a good hearty breakfast before continuing onwards. Arriving at the Ivanhoe crossing, they felt a bit more adventurous, so decided to cross the Ord River here. An alternative is to go across the bridge on the main highway route. This is the bridge crossing the Ord River along the main highway. Continuing on, they turned into the Gib River Road, a road that the early settlers used. This was a good test for the van, as the Gib River Road is notorious for its corrugations. Always keep a good lookout for the road trains that frequent this road. Turning right off the Gib River Road takes you to Emma Gorge, a beautiful lodge and camping area nestled in the bush, another popular destination for travellers. A 1.6 kilometre walk will bring you to the Emma Gorge. This is definitely worth the effort. The water is crystal clear and felt like ice after the long walk in the heat. track led them straight to the bar for a welcomed cold drink. After leaving Emma Gorge, they headed off to the El Questro station, a 1 million acre property owned by Will Burrell. This part of El Questro is the camping area for backpackers, tenters and caravanners. There is a bar and outdoor barbecue area and a little shop. This is basically the heart of where the workers who live at the station stay. Every Saturday night they put on a barbecue for all the workers with a little entertainment from one of the locals. To avoid disappointment, one thing to note for all travellers, there is no power available. However, they have all other amenities including toilet, shower and laundry.
I'd like to thank you on behalf of El Questro and ourselves, management staff, for being here tonight. And wherever you go, may health and happiness always flow. And throughout the rest of your lives, may God bless you all, and keep you safe. And thank you for tonight. Good evening.
Turned up at El Questro station this afternoon, come in and we've set up just down below near the river. The Black Kakadu as it will, is that the side of the station it's at?
Well, you've got a pleasant spot under that big fig tree, I noticed.
It's a beautiful, like plenty of shade, nice fishing hole down the bottom. This is Will Burrell, he's the owner of the station. Yeah, Glenn anyway, wasn't he? Yeah, please, this is mate.
Have you hooked into a fish yet?
Not yet, mate. We're hoping to get a barra. The other boys showed us up a couple of days ago at the Mary River, but we haven't had much luck, mate.
You realise you forget where you are, don't you?
Yeah.
This all seems too much fun.
Yeah,
But
I know.
actually, you look at where you are, you're a dot on the map.
Yeah.
And you're 100 kilometres from the nearest person.
Yeah.
And it's all here.
Yeah.
We've got cold beer.
Yeah, I know.
It's about the right temperature.
Yeah. So tomorrow we're going to go for a look through the gorge.
I thought you were going on the helicopter.
Yeah, it'll be good. First time. Get up
Oh, you
there.
want to? I've come down a couple of times in that shop, so hang on.
After having a good camp here at the El Questro on the Black Kakadu side of the station, we're going to pack a little bit of gear up and have a bit of breakfast, and going to head up in this helicopter, which should be good. It'll give us a chance to have a really good look at the country from above. From there, when we get back, we're going to pack up and head off towards, we're going to call into the thermal springs and have a quick look at them. And then the main destination for today is the Pentecost River. I'm going to see if I can catch one of these barra.
Caravans are not allowed up to this exclusive lodge, but special permission was granted for this project. An aerial view of the lodge and country shows how unique and beautiful this part of the world really is. Leaving El Cuestro, they stopped at Zebedee Springs for a quick refreshing swim before heading off to their next stop. Coming back onto the Gibb River Road from the springs, they headed towards the Pentecost River to do a little more fishing and camp for the night. In the dry season, the rivers are quite low, but be aware the conditions can change quickly. Ronnie caught a nice sized barra for dinner tonight.
Okay, we've got Ronnie's fish up here. What we've done, we've cleaned the fish and gutted it. Johnny's there, he's chopped up some fresh tomato and some onions. What we're going to do is line the actual inside of the stomach of the barramundi with this. We're going to tightly cover him up with some foil. Earlier on we built the fire up nice and big. We've let it die down now and we've got some beautiful coals there. So... Ronnie, lay him in. Righto. We'll be wrapped in aluminium and just set him straight onto the coals. Watch it to be hot.
About 1 to 1.5 hours cooking time in the coals and she's ready to eat. It's looking pretty good. Back on the Gibb River Road heading north from the Pentecost River towards Drysdale River Station, then onto the Mitchell Plateau, which was to be the pinnacle of the trip. The corrugations mixed with loose stones and the heat are taking their toll on the tyres.
You can understand now why people generally carry either 2 spares for the trailer, or they'll have their spares for both the trailer and the car, interchange with both, so that they've got 2 spares for one or the other if they need it to get out of trouble.
The last thing they wanted was another flat tyre as they had no spares left. Here, Glenn and Peter headed for Drysdale River Station to get the tyres repaired, while leaving the others behind to wait till they return. tyres, they were off again, driving through some thick bull dust, trekking back over the ground they had just covered. Setting up camp about 80 kilometres from Mitchell Falls near the King Edward River. Heading off in the morning, they found the going quite slow as they encountered some very rough roads. It took about 3.5 to 4 hours to travel the 80 kilometres to the falls. Here is an example of what the corrugations can do to your gear.
I could smell something, smelled like it was dead in the bush, but it wasn't dead. It was gas. Vibrations have just either broken a valve on it, and the whole thing's just let it all out. She's iced up. With the amount of corrugations there, if it just take one little spark, that whole trailer would have just exploded like a bomb. That's why I should always have these things on the A-frame, eh? Aired out, not closed up.
Do you have any caravan travellers come up through here at all?
None at all.
None at all?
A few trailers get through, but no caravans at all.
No caravans at all, eh?
Nope.
That's amazing, isn't it? Oh, well. Yeah, you see a few trailers up here, I suppose,
Yeah.
coming through.
A few trailers, but not a lot.
So mainly them...
Four-wheel drive.
From the turn off at King Edward River, about 3.5 hours.
4 hours.
4 hours.
Corrugate road.
Yeah.
That's 80 k's. Yeah.
Yeah, rough going.
Mm.
The lady over there said that she's never seen a van here before.
I tend to say this is the first one.
Yeah, but done it again, Plateau.
At the base of the Mitchell Plateau, you can take a helicopter flight up to the falls, or you can do the 3.5 kilometre walk. But be warned, if you do walk, take plenty of water as it can get very hot. Arriving at the top of the falls, they all really appreciated the spectacular scenery after the effort it took to get there. They were assured that swimming was quite safe, no crocs in the water up here. After spending a few hours at the falls, they were glad to get a flight back to the camping ground which they had arranged earlier. Leaving the Mitchell Falls late that day, they struck some major problems while travelling along the Mitchell Plateau Road.
We've lost the whole sub-tanker, jeez.
I want to get that little shifter, mate. I've got to undo the shocky right off.
We'll have to limp it with no shocky.
It's broken the top mount and it's pierced all the fuel lines. Not good.
We won't make King Edward now. She takes its toll, the old Gib River, doesn't it?
Sure does.
How's the inside of the van faring?
Good.
We'll go in and have a look here. Few shakes. I'm lucky we pulled them up because it looks like this lid here has been shaken off its hinge. So I'll have to fix this too. Oh, the suspension on the ATV looks pretty good. I don't think you'd have too many dramas of this at home in Reese and Highland Head and all that.
No, it's been beautiful, this Highland Head.
Okay.
That's been working perfectly, that.
Well, he looks nice and strong.
After taking out the shockies and fixing the fuel line, they reorganised the gear and headed off again towards Winjana Gorge. Pulling in for a rest stop, they took in the beautiful landscape of Mount Hart and the King Leopold Ranges. When they arrived at Winjana Gorge, they discovered they had lost the bumper bar and the spare tyres off the back of the van due to the rough roads. The conditions were certainly taking their toll on the vehicles. Very nice camping ground at Winjana Gorge with showers and toilets.
It's the first stage of the walk at the Winjana Gorge. Already it looks beautiful, we haven't even started.
Taking a leisurely walk through the gorge, the boys were tempted to go swimming, but not a good idea as there are plenty of freshwater crocs here. After leaving Winjana, they turned left onto the Gip River Road on their way to Broome. Coming across the Boab prison tree, they decided to investigate further. This tree was used as a stopgap for prisoners. Coming to the Derby Highway at the end of the Gip River Road, you can turn right to go to Derby, or left as the boys did and head towards Broome. Arriving in Broome, they headed straight for bow repairs where they were well looked after. Here they had their spare tyres repaired and purchased some desperately needed new shockies. Relaxing at Roebuck Bay, they all had earned a day's rest. Broome is a very touristy backpacker town with plenty of history, monuments and lots of pearl shops selling world-class pearls. Sun Pictures is an outdoor picture theatre, one of the few left in Australia. Cable Beach is very popular as the locals and tourists head down to catch the spectacular sunsets. You're allowed to take four-wheel drive vehicles onto certain parts of the beach. Heading out from Broome the next day to their next destination, Cape Leveque.
Oh, we left Broome early this morning. We're heading up to Cape Leveque. We've stopped in Beaker Bay. We're going to have a look inside this old chapel here.
This chapel features mother-of-pearl shells and was built in 1918 by Trappist monks. Definitely worth a stop and look. Cape Leveque is also very popular with campers and tourists. If you're lucky, you might spot some passing whales.
ready to head off?
Yeah, no.
One of the many flat tyres encountered, this was actually caused by an old tow ball on the road. The front wheel had flicked it up and speared it straight through the rear tyre.
So that's a good keepers down the drain, I think. I don't think they'll be able to repair that one.
Turning left onto the Great Northern Highway, heading east towards Halls Creek. Turning right off the Great Northern Highway onto the Tanami Road, and then taking a left to check out the Wolf Creek crater. After spending a little time at the crater, they headed off, crossing the Northern Territory border, heading towards Alice Springs. Another flat tyre. This time a piece of pipe was on the road. Barry's not impressed. There are plenty of wild camels around, so keep a lookout for them while travelling along these roads. Instead of turning left onto the Stewart Highway and heading towards Tennant Creek, they were running low on fuel and supplies, so decided to stock up at Alice Springs. After leaving Alice Springs, they headed back towards Tennant Creek, turning right onto the Plenty Highway, and then camped for the night. Stopping at a homestead on the Plenty Highway to get one of their many spare tyres repaired before crossing the border into Queensland. They had a short stopover in Bullia before heading off again. After leaving Bullia, they headed towards Mitchell, which was to be their last night's camp before reaching home.
This is what they want us to do. Come along, do all the driving. So old Jippy's sitting in the back having a beer, sleeping. It's all he's done for 2 days. How do they do it? Have a look at the eyes. 2,225 kilometres.
He wants his hot roast lamb dinner and a warm bed.
Oh! You won't be laughing when a big crop comes up and grabs your fucking leg. Look at this.
This has been really smart, hasn't it?
No fish stuck in the middle of Crop River.
What a day.
That's right.
You're loving it up here, Jibby, aren't you?
Oh, I might stay for a couple of weeks.
What are you doing there, Ed?
Just calling up my old mates, the old dingo. They'll be here in about 20 minutes, half an hour, I'd say.
It works, eh?
That'll be at a radius of about 6 or 8 kilometres.
Alright.
If they're here, mate, they'll...
Get an India. Croc infested saltwater river. Everyone else fishing out in the bank. Here we are.
Oh, here we go. What's he want to die today, does he?
Just stay in there, Jippy, and I'll put a hook in you.
Get out of there, Jib.
So Mike lets you come away on these trips. This is what he does. Look.
Today's Tuesday, about midday, they'll be flat out the office.
Have a look at Roddy.
Give us a look, Ronnie. Come on, sit up. Oh, mate. 10 minutes up the road, Fangio's done it again. Radio out on.
What'd you do
With the handle.